alternative spirituality. Whatever is not contained in the scripture need to be probed. There is only one acceptable means by which we can converse with God: Jesus. The Bible says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one cometh to the Father except by me. It did say by me and by the local minister that lives in the forest. We have a bunch of believers today who have given up on what God has told them, looking for solution by all means, and they don't care how they get it. The devil does not give something and not take something. It's only the blessing of the Lord that maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. Somebody picks your palm and say, let me see your future. Allow them. They can tell you what will happen or what has happened to you, but you don't need to be deceived by that, because even the devil is disguising himself as an angel of light. That's why you must have the spirit of discernment. And you see some people bathing their head in the river. See some people put salt under their pillow just to seek spiritual remedies. Anything that is not contained in the scripture is fake. Can't force you not to do it, but it's wrong. That's the scripture. Rather consult the Spirit of God to know things, because the Spirit of God is more accurate. The human spirit is older than your mind. So there are things that your spirit knows that your mind does not know. It's only when you have been able to crystallize with the Spirit of God that your spirit begin to know things by the Spirit. Do you know mystery of the mingled spirit? How many of us know Coke and Fanta? When you mix the two together, what do you have? Coke and Fanta mixed together. This your spirit has now become one with God. I sometimes perceive something by your spirit. You know that it's not you that brought that intuition or that impression. It's because your spirit has become one with the Spirit of God. So if the Spirit of God acts, it's like it's your spirit that is acting. It's the mystery of the mingled spirit. What the believer must do is to become so crystallized with the Spirit of God that we are able to consult him for whatever we need. I'm not saying that you are going and you knock your leg on the stone and say, the way is bad. Sometimes you are constrained. Believers should watch out for the way the Spirit of God leads. That is the solution to seeking alternative spirituality. It's because people don't know that this Spirit of God is real, and that is a person, and that he speaks, and that he sees us. Just imagine that there's a camera watching in your office. There's a camera watching in your car. And the camera is viewed by everybody in the church. We can all see what is happening in each other's lives. You know that if you want to open that bottle of, you will realize that, pastor can be viewing this thing. Then you withdraw. The person provoke you. When you want to say your mind, you realize that if we are conscious that the Spirit of God in us is observing us, is watching us to influence the decisions we make. So many people are not truly in bondage. It's just the lack of the consciousness of whom they carry. More than the idolatry, anything that takes the place of God. It can be anything that appeals to your heart more than God. Idolatry is anything that has come to take the place of your love for God. So it can be your pursuit for money, and be your phone, like we said that day. And not phoning, it might be the social media apps. It might be movies. Some people can watch seasons of movie and watch it in 3 days. Let us watch our heart. What is that thing that has stolen the place of God in our heart? Is that thing that has come to take your quiet time? And as a means for engagement, I have always said this, that let us have a routine of seeking God. I wake up 6 o'clock to 7. I'm seeking God. Maybe listening to a spiritual song. I'm reading my Bible. I'm listening. And pastor said something strategic that day, which I don't want us to forget. Don't let listening to message replace your own communion with God. Because you can be listening to a man of God and you feel blessed. Meanwhile, your relationship with God is suffering. You are just learning new rhema. It's not the same with the person that truly receives that revelation from God. So whatever we do, let us make sure that we spend time, create a routine. If you don't have an alarm, you can create an alarm. That okay, from this time to this time, I want to seek God. You can pray in the midnight if you are a night person. Let's take conscious step. Look at the first topic, blame game. Don't stop blaming people for the happenings in your life anymore. Stop blaming anybody for the things that you see. The result you want to see, start taking responsibilities. You want to be closer with God. Take genuine responsibility. Take steps.